Hello YouTubers and welcome to Time Travel Comics. Here we talk about particular themes in comic books as well as the history of the artwork on the pages. Today's episode will focus on love and romance in honor of Valentine's Day, and we'll take a look at some books that include love and romance covers from the Silver Age and Bronze Age. So I dedicate this episode to my wife. She's put up with me through the ages, not only for being her husband, but also for collecting comic books and reading them and studying them. And it takes a lot for that, as you might all know. But I just want to use the time machine here to take back in time using our tokens. And this particular one has the year 1962 on it. I have another one that has a little bit later, from 1958, so further back in time. The comic books depicting romance has a long history and have lasted before the action heroes that we know today. Coming after Pulp Fiction and dramas, love stories kind of helped a lot of artists grow and start their career. So it's going to be exciting to take a look at this particular theme today. We're going to use our time machine here to see what the past will bring us. So here we go. Everybody. As we wait for the time machine to bring us our comic book goodies, why don't we enjoy some chocolates? After all, it's Valentine's Day and it's part of the tradition. And I always like seeing these heart-shaped boxes. They're all kind of sizes, great big ones, kind of surprising. A girlfriend or your loved one. And yeah, these I just picked up recently, so yeah, why don't we go ahead and, have a candy there. There's always a menu telling which one has caramel or dark chocolate. I usually open it right up and grab whatever I can and usually hope for a good surprise. My wife, on the other hand, always takes a look at the package and reads what's inside and if it's caramel or nuggets or anything like that. But I just say, hey, I'm going to go for it and see what it is. Oh, coconut. Not too bad. Kind of like the Almond Joy. Here on this cover is Happy Valentine's Day featuring Charlie Brown, Snoopy, and Woodstock. And I always remember reading Charlie Brown in comic book panels where he's waiting for a Valentine, kind of sad and leaning against a mailbox post and looking for the mailman and just hoping that he'd get a Valentine. So I hope this Valentine's Day he finally gets a letter, a Valentine, and could have a smile from year to year. So I'll put this aside and wait. Another great candy that I always enjoy in particular that's been around since the 20s and 30s was actually Margie's candy. Margie's candy it was here in Chicago on along Western Avenue, and just a nice gold shimmery box. It was even said that Al Capone would frequent the candy shop and order pastries and had pretty much a sweet tooth. And I know Chicago is always known for Al Capone, but we do have great food and great candies. Just love this box here. It is Valentine's Day, and candies are the theme of the holiday. Oh, there's our first comic book, Archie number 102. This came out in July of 1959. It features two characters, Archie Andrews on the left and Betty Cooper. And also a beautiful car, nice car cover too, with a 1955 Chevy. You can see the rocket fins, the light, the chrome bumper, a little bit of that white detail on the tire. Just iconic at that time. A lot of nice Americana. I like how Archie says, "This baby has everything. What more could I want than a new car?" Just thinking about the car. And then she quickly chimes in, "Me, just to be in the passenger seat." I don't blame her. So this beautiful cover was created by Harry Lucey. Harry Lucey was one of the primary artists for the Archie series. He also worked with Dan DeCarlo in creating many stories and artwork. And the inspiration for Betty Cooper actually comes from his sister-in-law. So there's kind of portrayed and depicted there. And what's nice about Archie's and what their comic stands out is all their gestures and their expressions and there's just their body language. It's a time where comics was going away from too much action, and this is just a little bit of a reprieve from that. It's something different in a different direction. Looking at the pages here, we can see some of the artwork, and you see the expressions, the emotion. You can see Archie kind of walking away from he's always there causing trouble. You can see here Betty and Veronica, the little spiraling dark cloud over his head suggesting that he's mad about something, having a little tantrum. So just the expressions and just whimsical artwork always graces the pages of Archie comic. And I could remember back in the day that they were everywhere, pretty much in supermarkets, the checkout lane. Usually places that didn't have comic books always seemed to have Archie available, including the Joke Book of Archie and Jughead. And the franchise has been around for quite a while. Another great book, as I move this one aside, is another Archie cover. And this is Archie number 84. It came out a little earlier than the one on the left. And as we bring it into focus, it's from 1957, January and February, the current month that we're in. And they're in a soda fountain. They're right in the back. And Jughead asks a question, Betty, do you know an 8-letter word that means rival? And then she chimes in kind of in an angrier tone, yes, Jughead, Veronica, spelling it out. And Archie always kind of had a thing for Veronica, and Betty always admired and loved Archie. So a little bit of a triangle there. And Jughead was always kind of the goofball. But you can see this nice soda fountain scene. There are a lot of nice ones back in the 50s and 60s. This is one of them. Just shows a little bit of a brief soda fountain type cover with the little glass there. That's the contour design. So again, we have this nice gesturally artwork, a lot of physical comedy going on, a lot of expression, people getting into trouble. As the camera focuses in, you can see them in their high school shenanigans. Here Archie even tries to climb the ladder up to the bedroom of Veronica to kind of woo her with a song, but is greeted by her father, and he quickly falls backwards. And then he's in the doctor's office as a result. So these are two great covers. These are more of the vintage Archies from the 1950s. Again, love the car, love the soda fountain. It's Valentine's Day, and love is in the air. We'll take these two books away. As we just finished looking at Archies from the 50s, we're going to venture into 1962 with this title, Young Romance. You can see the gentleman saying that he won't love anybody else as she takes away off of a train. Very much like a cinematography shot or movie still, where you have that last final moment there. Young Romance, this is from May 1962, Volume 15, Number 3. The Young Romance series was actually launched in September 1947. And it offered a first-person perspective, kind of recounting the stories. So you're actually looking behind the eyes of the character as you're going through the relationships and the drama. So again, you see that expression and look, and in terms, you see the concern and affection as well as you're turning the pages. And you'll notice a lot of the time it just involves the figures, the people, not so much action or running or movement. But a lot of dialogue. And you can see here a little bit pink narrative boxes, a lot of light tones as well. You don't see too much in terms of oranges and dark colors and action type pictures, but very subdued, relaxed coloration as the camera focuses here. And occasionally the smooch here. But look at the depth there, kind of walking through into the, looks like a rock formation. And the pages always had that iconic drama and tension, and it just, you see all that here. About 4 stories in the book, so there's always entertainment to follow, finishing one story and moving along to the other. Also, the advertisements are geared toward younger women, like size shaping, undergarment to minimize the midriff. The advertisements don't have a lot of the toys that you would see otherwise. Even the back cover, even tummy slim. So there's a body image, and advertisements relating to that are actually in these books because this is actually geared toward the female audience. So this was the earlier run from Prize publication. I'm going to put another book side by side, and this is Young Love. This series came a little bit after this one here, and Young Love, it has its starts, is launched in February of 1949, and it lasted 73 issues until December of 1956. Whereas this one started a couple years earlier in 1947, but this is a Joe Simon cover. And Joe Simon actually worked with Jack Kirby in writing the stories for this book. Joe Simon and Kirby always had a full-length story in one of their books, in each one, and they did a lot of romance writing right before they got into heroes in action, like Fantastic Four and Captain America. In fact, Joe Simon, that worked a lot on this book, was a co-creator of Captain America and was the first editor of Timely Comics. And here he is with Prize Comics working on romance covers. Ooh la la. Nice red cover. Love the red here. Again, the sleekness of the characters, the detail, the sharp chin, the hair, the jewelry. It really appeals, like the soap operas of the time. And soap operas actually got their name from all the soap products from Procter & Gamble that they used to advertise and sell. So this is the main lineup, Young Romance and Young Love of romance. And again, you can take a look here. Dick Ayers also worked on that, so it kind of looks a little bit of the Howling Commandos type. Either Dick Ayers or Jack Kirby. None of the artist credits are actually written into the comic books here at the time. But you'll notice again pink narrative bubbles. As we turn to the second page, there's a lot of nice tones of pink and lighter here, there. So again, it was for the younger female audience to catch up on the drama and love. It even offers advice too on relationship in a couple of pages here by asking Nancy Lee Hale for advice. So there you have it. You can see the faces, the expressions, the sternness, the tenderness, the affection. But again, nothing naughty, nothing risque in these books. It's just harmless fun. And again, an advertisement for Tummy Slim. The next book is from ACG, or American Comic Group. And this is number, let me see here. This is number 123. Romance Adventures. It looks like a party. They're wearing a mask, having a good time. There's always some drama that will ensue. And there are quite a few stories in this book. Especially one lady changes her face and changes her character as well. So there's some interesting works. This is by John Forty. He did a lot of the pencil work. And John Forty also worked with Timely Comics as well, with Joe Simon and Atlas Comics in the 40s and 50s. You can see that there too. So we'll take a look inside this book by ACG, My Romantic Adventures. Kind of a beat up copy, low grade of course, and some water damage. I picked up all three of these for just a few bucks many years ago, but now they're going up in price. And romance novels and romance comic books didn't get much love actually back in the day. They had a lower print run, lower circulation as well. Trying to engage the female audience. Another smooch over there. Flowers. For Valentine's Day, it's always important to get flowers. Yeah, this artwork by Forte. He also worked on Legion of American, Legion of Just a lot of detail in the pages too. You can see kind of getting ready for the party, a little bit of powder on the nose. Yeah, so there you have it, some earlier romance comics. And these are all from April, May of 1962. So our time machine traveled back to the past and grabbed whatever it could on the spinner at that time. So all these three books were just displayed like this on comic book shelves and racks back in the day. So it's a nice little snapshot as they all have April, May 62, April, May 62, and even right there. So this is what it looked like if you happened to walk into the bookstore at that time. So we'll take these guys away. For Valentine's Day, we can't forget about comic books by Charlton Comics Group. Charlton always was a leader in love stories. This particular copy is an underwater scene, and you can see a couple images right there. And this is for Lovers Only, number 84. Again, there's no hanky-panky or nudity in these books, but it's just innocent stories. And this is from April of 1976. So we just got away from 1962 as we move forward in time. And Charlton Comics, based in Derby, Connecticut, did everything by themselves. They added color, they cut their own books, they published them, and they also distributed them in big trailers throughout the country. They were all in-house, which makes them a very unique company. And you can see their logo here. This is a later logo, as there's some variations of it earlier for Charlton Comics, but they were always known for their great books and titles, and a lot of guest artists coming in and moonlighting too. This cover is by Enrique Nieto. Enrique was born in Morocco in 1943, and this story is called Stranger in the Lake. It's a 7-page feature inside the book, but he was part of the Latin American Union Studios, and he did a lot of these great cut scenes and chop panels, as I'll show you here. I call it chop because they're kind of cut as the camera chimes in. And again, you see the gesture and emotion kind of pouring out of the pages. You can see the hair and kind of the 70s fashion at the time. After all, this is 1976. Another smooch right there. See, smooches are timeless. We saw them from the 50s and then the 60s. Now we're getting into the psychedelic era of the 1970s. And you can see just the extra work there, the profile view, the portrait view, smooches, kind of looks model-like, you know, with the eyeliner, creased lips, so just great work there. Charlton book. And we'll put that one aside here just for another comparison there, and enjoy the cover a little bit longer as I find Teenage Love right over here. And look at all the different artwork dancing around on the cover. This is from March of 1970, as the last book is from 1976. So this is another logo here. You can kind of see that Charlton C, and this was always in the corner to identify it. They did the Jetson, they had the rights for Popeye, they did comic books for Popeye, Jungle Jim, Flash Gordon. Charlton was always on the comic book spinners next to the other books from DC Marvel, and they were kind of a little bit less expensive, so they were more affordable. So when your mom said pick a comic book, she probably picked one of these because they weren't as premium as some of the other ones. But looking back, they have a lot of great stories, including ghost stories and horror stories, which kind of their forte. You can admire that. This is more like a surfing scene right here, so you have a little bit of water theme going on, and more smooches there. It's Valentine's Day, so we're going to see smooches. And you can see on the last page an advertisement for Charlton Comics, and you can see all the different titles they had, from Love Diary to Secret Romance to Time for Love, Romance Story. Again, none of these were hanky-panky. They're just dramas. And you can see that Charlton Comic leads the love parade. Again, a little bit of that 70s motif. You can see the beard there. You can see the tears in her eye, the emotions. So we've gone from Archie's having physical comedy and taking light of things, and then moving on to the other books like Romance Adventures and the others from Young Love, and it's more serious, and then these are a little bit more serious too, so you can even see, I love that, the heart and the silhouette there. Giving some love to some love-themed comic books for Valentine's Day. Thank you for watching this Valentine's Day episode as we are googly-eyed with love and hearts circling around. Some great covers with love and artwork and smooches for our theme here. Always enjoy some chocolate and a good read. We took a look at Archie's from the 50s, then segued into the 60s with Young Romance and Young Love, seeing some early Jack Kirby and Joe Simon, before finishing with Charlton Comics. Happy Valentine's, everybody. Much love to my wife, who always supports me in my comic endeavors. Even Wonder Woman was moved. Just the front cover of Who's Who of American Comics by Jerry Bales. Thanks again for watching, and let me know in the comments your favorite love story comic, if you have one. Enjoy your Valentines.